how to deal with social withdrawal. There are a number of things that family members can do that are not helpful. Using parental authority in a one-sided way to try and force the child to change, adopting an overly emotional attitude, refusing to listen to the child's opinions, and getting violent in order to make him or her obey. If a child starts to avoid society and go into a withdrawn state, the first thing the parents should do is to try and ask the reason. Then the parents should make at least one thorough attempt to persuade the child that he or she can return to the world. There is no wonder drug that will cure the situation in a short amount of time. In general, it takes between 6 months and 2 to 3 years, perhaps even more, to recover from a withdrawn state. And even then, of course, I'm only talking about cases in which people get appropriate treatment. At the most basic level, there are 2 big steps. The first is to attempt to restore the point of connection with the 2 neighboring systems. In other words, it is necessary to restore a point of connection between the individual and the family, and between the family and society. Once that has happened, then it will be time for the second big step, restoring the point of connection between the individual and society. It is relatively easy to get the family system and the social system working in conjunction with one another. In concrete terms, this is what happens when the parents begin to go to a counseling center for treatment, or participating in meetings with the extended family. A family should not try to handle withdrawal within the immediate family alone. They should take an open attitude and think about establishing a broader connection with society. It is of utmost importance that the family avoids trying to find out who is at fault. Such logic is counterproductive. It is also not desirable for the mother to spend 24 hours per day with the withdrawn child. The mother should make sure she has her own work, perhaps a part-time job, and hobbies. She should not give up lessons or things she is learning outside the home. She should not give up her interactions with people in society. Creating time for herself through those activities will help the mother maintain her own psychological balance. There are many cases in which the mother herself hates to leave the home and go outside, but if she makes up her mind and goes out, that will help the withdrawn child recognize her as an individual. In other words, the child realizes that the mother has an individual existence separate from him or her and comes to accept this fact. That is an extremely important step in the healing process. When talking to a child who is cooped up in his or her own room, it is important for the parents to talk from outside the room. It may be hard to believe, but some parents open the doors to their own child's room without knocking first. Other parents knock but go ahead and open the door without waiting for a response. Such behavior is not only counterproductive, but goes against common sense. If it is still not possible to have a proper conversation, it is essential to be sure to show the maximum possible respect for the child's privacy. For that reason, it is best to speak to the child from outside the door without opening it. Previously, we had talked about how violence plays into the withdrawal. The emotion that lies behind violence in the home is not hatred, but sadness. This is why it is especially important to open the lines of communication within the home. In looking at the experiences of people in withdrawal, it becomes clear that the standards for adapting to school and adapting to society are quite different. How common is it for a student to go through college without any real problems, reach graduation, then get stuck at a stage where he or she is supposed to find a job? The kinds of relationships one has in school and the kinds of relationships that one has in society are quite different. One thing that we all can do, starting now, is to accept the reality of social withdrawal, a phenomenon that is growing right before our very eyes. This means attempting to recognize and understand the issue correctly, not trying to deny its existence through hasty criticism. I believe that the spread of this kind of understanding can help disengage Hikikomori systems in deadlock and prevent the spread of new cases of withdrawal. Again, if you would like more information on this topic, I suggest you read this book, Hikikomori, Adolescence Without End. That is where I've gotten all of my information for these videos.